A fool just never learns, does he? So, you know, it's just, I kind of decide, you know, maybe I do want some guns I always said I didn't want. You know, maybe if nothing else for collector purposes. So, I'm kind of working on Invective and Bad Juju simultaneously. I waited until I got to a certain point with both of the bounties before I ever hopped into PvP. So, the Bad Juju, which is actually ends up being a little bit worse than I thought. You know, you have to get the 10,000, whatever it is, points from kills in PvP. That's actually going to be a little more playtime than I anticipated it being. Why do I say? Because the Invective PvP part is pretty much have a 25 more kills and assists than you have deaths over however many games it takes. And this, I did it this game. I hopped in, thought it might take me, you know, so many odd games. I didn't really know how much it would take. And took me one game. But the problem was that it was like you know, 20. I was at perfect for it. 25 kills, 5 assists, 5 deaths. And it was only 1,300 points towards the Bad Juju, and I was like, that is highly disappointing. So, you know, I'd have to have pretty much around 8 games playing about the same to get that. So I'm like, man, I don't know. Bad Juju I don't know if it's worth all that. That's a lot more work than I was actually anticipating having to go through in the end for a gun that I probably won't even use just for collection purposes. I don't really know if I care that much for it. I keep putting myself into PvP even though I really just don't want to play it. And yeah, it kind of starts off kind of bad. And yeah, that guy just got me all by him. I think that was a panic right there. He did the little panic button thing. And I'm not going to feel bad. Normally I feel bad when I use the Suros. Not going to feel bad. And you should have already seen why I am not going to feel bad. Vex Mythoclastis they buffed it. And it really needed that buff for PvE. But for PvP, it's very powerful. And it's far better than the Suros because I was highly outgunned using the Suros by that thing a little bit earlier, if you didn't notice how quickly he killed me with it. So, and yes, I actually have a Vex, and no, I did not pull it out. So, I didn't really think I needed to do any kind of revenge. Oh, if you're going to use it, I'm going to use it. Nope, I just wanted to get my business done and be done with it. And yeah, this is skilled knifing here. Never even hit him. Thank God for that Warlock. That was really pathetic right there. I was a little bit surprised. The match felt kind of slow. I knew it was reasonable, but it didn't feel like I killed, you know, all that much really in the end. And for how slow it felt like I killed and everything, I was like, really? I got 25 kills? I did this bounty, or this part of a bounty, in one match with how horrible it felt. Now, once again, there was a lag. There was a couple times where the lag was throwing me off here and there. I just taken a little bit of extra time with things, and I mean, it really didn't hurt me that bad, but there was definitely some lag in this particular match. And yeah, this is actually, and it may surprise you, this is my first ever PvP with a Hunter. I have only ever gone into PvP with my Titan and my Warlock. I have never, ever taken my Hunter into PvP before. So that was, and if you notice, yeah, I'm using Golden Gun. The last thing I really wanted to do was go in with Blade, you know, Blade Dancer, because people get so mad because people consider it overpowered, and to an extent it is, but once you've really played PvP for a while, and I guess I've played enough of it now, that you learn to counter it to an extent that you can kind of survive with it. You don't find it to be super overpowered. Now, they are really hard to kill when they're blade dancing, but I mean, once you've gotten kind of used to it, Or if, you know, you're just using a Titan. Then Blade Dancer isn't that big of a concern. Actually, I probably have a harder time fighting people who end up using Golden Gun than I do people who use Blade Dancer. Because Blade Dancer, he has to run at you. He's pretty vulnerable, even though he does take so much less damage. I saw it in this match. I saw somebody else on my team. I don't know if he was low on health already. He decided to Blade Dance right in front of somebody, and it really, really did not work for him. And it's going to be, like where I'm looking right now, you'll see it when it happens. Because it's going to happen in this general direction. He's going to be running at somebody. But, I mean, I don't know what killed him. I know that there's a couple people on the other team were using fusion rifles quite a bit. I kind of stayed back. I mean, I'm working on another, what I kind of consider defensive bounty. A bounty that doesn't do me well to die. I need to stay alive. So I'm going to play defensively. And I'm actually very good at playing defensively compared to playing aggressively. I've never had the reflexes and everything. I'm more of a sit back and kind of think about what you're doing type of guy than I am I just run out there and go crazy type of person. I've never really been that. I kind of sit there and think about what I'm doing a little bit too much because I'm gonna run out there and just pause. Like, oh, did I really want to do this? I sit back and think a little bit. So I'm a little bit more of the slow player. And yeah, on this map, I'm always going to be playing this back wall. This entire back line on B and C because, in my personal opinion, it is the power position of this entire map. It is the place to be to me. It's a great place to kill without being killed. And to control B and C to an extent. You can't always hold both because once they're pretty well hidden from you when you are at B. Normally I don't stay at B as much as I did this match. I don't know why I did. It's probably because of that. Because I mean, I was getting pretty good kill feeds coming out from behind C because for some reason my team thought they needed to have every flag on the map, which why do we have to do that? That's like saying, hey, excuse me, can we lose, please? I mean, how many times do I have to say that? Everybody who plays this should know by now. This is not domination. We don't want all three. Unless you are playing with a team that you know can handle holding all three and getting kills and ending a match really easily, then yeah, you really just don't want three. But for some reason, my team decided they did. And I'm wondering if we had some of our Christmas players on the other team because they have C. Now it's time to attack B. And there's our Blade Dancer. Bye-bye, Blade Dancer. See what I was saying. He Blade Danced at a wrong time. But really, it's time for them to attack B. And I was waiting for it, and they just weren't. They were just kind of living over here. So I'm kind of like, okay, what are you guys doing over here? And yeah, I was a little confused by that grenade kill. I guess maybe this other guy, I don't know. That one was just a little bit of a... Sometimes you get those confusing deaths you really don't understand. So, and by the way, did you happen to notice the beginning of the match? I told you that I'm a C person for this map. And I'm not the only one. Several other people on my team did it. We did not go capture A. All of us ran over to C. Because, I mean, that is the smarter thing to do. Run to C, take C, C is what you want to have. We actually didn't do too bad holding when we had A and B, but that's because the other team was just not being very aggressive and going for B, which is really what they should have done if they were trying to win. Which I don't know, it didn't strike me that they were trying too incredibly hard to win if they weren't pressing B. If anything, maybe they were pressing A, but they were not pressing B. And this sniper might be good for... It's not a bad PvE sniper. Yeah, I'll think I'll go back. If I go back in, I'll be pulling out the Predator's Revenge. That sniper, the scope on it was just big and awkward. Most of my kills do not come from it this match because I just never felt very comfortable with it and wasn't willing to swap it out. So... And this is one of those things. You're wondering why. I'm wondering what I'm up to. What are you up to? What are you up to? Because even I don't get it sometimes what I'm up to. It's one of those things. It's the heat of the moment. You're doing it, and you probably know what you're thinking is going on, and then you just don't know what's going on. I mean, I know that guy probably had me a little bit stressed as to where he was and where he was coming from and what he was going to do. I wasn't going to run down into that hole to find him, so... But I do realize the Hunter's grenades, well, a lot of people say the Hunter has some of the worst grenades in the game. The Hunter has a pretty darn good PvP grenade. That I've discovered. The one that killed me earlier, which I didn't really understand. And here's a Blade Dancer, and I was like, yep, I got what I need for the Blade Dancer. You should not have jumped on top of that truck. That was a mistake. So, and the funny thing is going to be about a lot of this is it's going to be this very last kill I get that's going to get it for me. I'm going to kill the guy, and I guess it's going to count it as a kill as it happens. Boom. Bounty finished right there. So that was like the perfect time to get one. That was just incredible that I got that kill and it popped up right there. I was like, yes, one match. Until I looked at the bad Juju bounty and saw the 1,300 points. I was like, I gotta keep playing this much longer PvP. I don't want to play PvP. It's you know, not exactly my favorite thing, and of course it gives me a shader I already have. And then just showing you here that's that is completed. Looking at it there, the 25 more kills and assists than deaths. I love putting both in there because they're both important on that one. And I thought I would just go ahead and I'd show you the stats too a little bit so that you could actually see that it was. I'm assuming this is probably about perfect for it. 25, 5, and 5. That's 25 more because technically the assists and the deaths offset each other. And this is me going to the Warlock chick and turning it in. So that is going to be about it for this, and I will catch you guys later.
I've got a good feeling about you guys.